Mr. Eggplant presents.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And it's been a little bit quiet on my channel here over the last probably 2 months or so, just pushing out a lot of my Season 3 content, or what's left of it. Still have a retrospective to do, and we're going to be continuing episodes with our podcast with Glitch and Zaft, which will be in the mountains, which will be out very soon. But today, I think it's finally time to dive into the PTR. So this is going to be my first Season 4 early look, if you will. This is just going to be for the PTR for 10.3 and the Season 4 of Mythic Plus and the Awakened Raids. They finally have a name. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the Dinar items that you can get from the vendor. So here in the PTR, you buy them with gold. So take a look at these beautiful things. Sorry, don't look at the bags. It's all stuff from Season 2 still, as I didn't recopy my character. But these are going to be items that you can buy from the vendor with Dinar, otherwise known as, what did they say? They're Antique Bronze Bullion for Dragonflight. They had to change the name just a little bit. Get the Shadowland stink off of it. But you can go and you can buy specialty items. Most of those are going to be very rare drops from raid bosses. So, they haven't said exactly how many Dinar we're going to get, but you can buy Jigglesworth Sr. with 3 Dinar, so I'm assuming you're going to be able to get more than 1. Or I should say more than 3, which was the max you got for Shadowlands. So in this video, we're going to be talking about items that I will most likely be aiming for once Season 4 rolls around, and we will have more information on how to acquire more of the bullion, how many we're going to get, up to a cap of maybe a certain number. I'm hoping that they're going to give us like 2 to start off with, since it's going to be an abridged season, and then we're going to get 1 a week. That's probably very generous and probably not going to happen, but you know, I'm gonna hope for the best. Anyway, so the items that are on here are going to be like weapons, rings, and mostly trinkets, and a singular back piece that we saw only drop a couple times, and Oddwin still uses it to steal my stats to this day. Anyway, so in this video, we're just going to be talking about trinkets first, and then we'll kind of go from there. So immediately, my favorite trinkets this expansion are both going to be on the vendor, and one of those is going to be Beacon to the Beyond, and the other one is going to be, where is it? Oh, I looked right at it. Neltharion's Call to Dominance. And let's talk about Neltharions first. So Neltharions was nerfed at the end of Season 2, so it wasn't going to be as usable for Season 3. It was still very good in Season 3, and so it's a base haste trinket, and it gives you stacks of arrogance, and those stack up to 10. When you use your True Shot, or your class ability, which for us is True Shot as a marksman hunter, you get for this at 535, 1,211 agility times 10 for 20 seconds when you use your True Shot. I think this is going to be, other than the weapon, which we'll talk about in a second, this will be the strongest trinket for us here for Season 4. And this will be something that I'm gunning for. It's a passive trinket. I guess it's not technically passive, but it kind of is. It's just whenever you use your main ability. Which also, keep in mind, in Season 2, True Shot did not work the same way as it does now. It would randomly proc thanks to our Windrunners. It was either Windrunners Guidance or it was Call of the Windrunners. One of the two, I forget what it is. It's in a much better position now. So that means when you use your True Shot, you're going to get value, and you can control that. So you can make sure and get up to 10 stacks, then pop your trinket will pop with your True Shot, and you'll just continually gain your main stat when you need it most, while you're doing more crit damage because of True Shot and Unerring Vision, and also just having more crit to begin with, putting out those faster rapid fires, and also your aim shots. We are going to be doing insane amounts of damage. So this is going to be, other than the weapon, probably the first item that I'm after. And the second item I'm kind of unsure of right now. I'm going to start doing some testing. There is talk that there's going to be like a hard mode for the Dawn of the Infinite's raid, which means Mir might be in play. And thank you for that information, Bo, over on my Discord. So I'm not sure how that's going to fit into the situation, see what item level it's going to be, that sort of thing. But there is going to be some really good on-use trinkets and passive trinkets. And one of those on-use is going to be the Manic Grief Torch. It's probably not going to be really great for single target, but very strong for AoE damage. And this one sims really high as well. And you can do, it says 973k, and it does have a little bit of a channel there, and it can hit other enemies and do massive amounts of damage. None of these others, other than Whispering Incarnate Icon, is going to be very strong. It was the stat stick from Season 1 from Council. This is going to be very strong, but again, I'm going to have to sim each of like the Icon versus Pips versus Chromatic Essence. They're all basically the same thing, but have little bit of a difference on each one, but they do relatively the same thing. Those are passive trinkets that are only going to increase your damage. So if you get a hold of one, you know, great. They did seem, or at least Pips seem to drop much more than, and Essence for that matter, seem to drop much more than the Icon did back in Season 1. One trinket that I really want, in fact, I think I still have it on my character, I do, from Season 2, is going to be the Beacon to the Beyond. Now, Beacon to the Beyond is a mastery trinket, and it doesn't sim the best. I'm telling you right now, it does not sim the best, and you're going to look at it and be like, ugh, you know, no thanks. But we are a special class that will continually stack crit. So we're going to have, at worst, you're probably going to have 35% base crit, and there's actually a lot of crit on our tier gear that we're going to have here for Season 4. You're already going to start off with 10% crit. You're going to get stacking crit from Bullseye whenever you're in the Bullseye zone under 20% health. You're going to be doing more percent or crit percent damage thanks to your Unerring Vision while you're stacking more crit with Unerring Vision and True Shot. So we're going to have a ton of opportunity to find these really good crit windows where we'll have 35% base. Forget about anything you have in your tree. Let's just say you have another 5% in your tree. You spend 1 point to do that with your main abilities, I should say. So you're at 40%. If you're using one of the crit files, you're probably going to be around 48% before you have Bullseye, which if you have Bullseye fully stacked up, that's 78% crit. If you have True Shot up and that stacks up fully, you have 88% crit. And oh, by the way, your crit damage is increased by 20%, and this beacon can crit. So what I'm telling you is that if you use Beacon wisely, kind of think about when you're doing a big pull in Mythic Plus, or even on a single target boss fight, if you know that you're almost guaranteed to crit with this thing, it will do so much damage. That's literally a 2 million DPS bomb, and if it's with your True Shot and Unerring Vision, it's going to do 20% more, and it's going to do 10% more if you have Death Chakram up hitting the target at the same time. There is massive ways to really abuse Beacon to the Beyond. I love to abuse it. You can ask Zaft. We are Beacon gamers, as we said in Season 2. But it kind of works the same way as the neck piece did back in BFA. I know a lot of people didn't play Marksman, but there was like a frontal beam, like a Kamehameha, if you will. It didn't sim very well, but when you had Unerring Vision stacking crazy amounts of crit, I could almost guarantee that frontal cone would crit every time, and it was so underrated. I parsed so high, even on like a single target boss, because you're able to kind of min-max it, if you will. And plus, playing with Beacon is much better than playing with Witherbark's Branch. I'm glad we won't have to worry about that. But that's something that I'm really looking at. Those 3 trinkets, obviously the Pips, the Essence, and the Icon are all very strong as well. I'm not really sure about the Coiled Serpent Idol, the Dragonfire Bomb Dispenser, or Ashes. They seem very niche, and I'm probably going to end up picking Beacon because Zaft and I are going to do some absolutely crazy damage, particularly on like when you need to blow up a certain enemy. For example, the totems on the final boss of Brackenhide, which we will be taking on again this season. You can basically eliminate one of them entirely if you use that right. So just something to think about. That's what I'm looking at right now for trinkets. So, Voice of the Silent Star, I never saw it drop. This is a very strong cloak, and it's probably going to be your go-to cloak. It's going to be the max item level of 535, which will be, other than maybe legendaries, will be the max item level that you can get on an item here for Season 4. That's going to be sought after, but it's going to be lower on my want list, if you will. I'm just looking back here. There's really nothing here. Iridius is probably not going to be something that you're going to want. It's a 3-minute cooldown. Algathar's puzzle box was very strong in Season 1, so much so that they had to nerf it for Season 2. It gives you a large amount of mastery, but it will guarantee you that you hit mastery diminished returns, and I just think there's probably going to be a lot more better trinkets available. I could be completely wrong on that, and they could probably do some tuning, but like I said, I do need to go in and start trying to sim these as best I can to see what is really looking good damage-wise, and honestly, what is smooth to play with. And Algathar's puzzle box is not that normally, because it has like I think it's a 2-second cast time before you get the buff, so you do have to pre-cast it, then do your aim shot, and then you'll go to town. Alright, so that's kind of the trinkets right now. Like I said, I think Neltharion's Call to Dominance is probably going to be a lock. That's just an obscene amount of main stat when you want it, which you're going to be doing most of your damage in your true shot windows anyway. Alright, I take it back. Let's look at the ring real quick. So there are 2 rings. Both of these were from Season 1. One of these came from Broodkeeper, which was the seal of duty here. It's good, but I'd probably rather have my my crafted Titanic Insight ring if I need to pick up a ring. The other one is going to be Seal of the Chosen here. And this one is from Eggnog, or Aranog, the first boss. And whenever you deal fire damage, it has a chance to cause your target to take an additional damage every 2 seconds, which is 23k. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's literally a passive ring that's going to do damage for you. And oh, by the way, it also gives high amount of versatility, which you're probably going to want to stack as you're wanting to push higher keys on a hunter. And the best part is right now for Marksman Hunter at the end of about said Shadowlands. Oh God, don't take me back there. For Dragonflight, there are no bad secondary stats. We are in a great position. I'd say better than we have been in quite some time. So I will be shooting to get a seal as quickly as possible, and if I have to go and do Eggnog a couple times on Mythic, I did that in Season 1, I didn't end up getting it, but that is something that I will be after, but it's not as high a priority as the final item we're going to talk about, which is a Neltharax, Enemy of the Sky, otherwise known as the basically pseudo-legendary that we never saw drop at all in Season 1. In fact, we only saw one of these the entire season, and that was something that somebody got out of their vault. So we never saw it out of the, 4 Mythic Plus dungeon cache. No, we didn't see it off the raid once. I saw it in LFR drop one time, didn't get it, lol, because why would I? It's been nerfed since Season 1, but it's still incredibly strong. And the best part is, it can go all the way up to that very max item level. I think only the legendary item should be higher than it. If not, I feel like Blizzard is doing a disservice to those claw users and those two-handed axe users. But this is going to be an incredibly strong bow. Even if you're constantly switching, you're still getting value out of it. Like I said, there's no bad secondary stats. 850 crit strike, and this is something that you can get early on. Say, hey, I have my Neltharax, and let's go to town pumping this bad boy up, and then you can pump all of your I forget what they're called, the craft items. Good lord, you'd think I do enough crafting, you'd think I'd remember it. There we go, the sparks. So I'm assuming there's going to be more sparks here to create items, so you don't even have to worry about creating a weapon. You can literally start creating, if you want to go with these wrists that give you a res for your team, awesome. Spark that. That's something that you can instantly get an impact on for your Mythic Plus group, or even for your raid team. You can go and you can make a crafted ring, so you can get the stats that you want. You can pump up your Titanic Insight ring, and then you don't have to worry about that slot at all for the rest of the tier. Or with your crafted items for your embellishments. So you're most likely going to use, I guess now that I think about it, you might end up using the adaptive of bracers. That's what I'm using currently here at the end of Season 3. It just gives you more secondary stats. So make one of the wrist pieces. You know, pick the one that works for you. Or then if you have a blue silk lining as the other one, you pump that bad boy up so you know you have these crafted pieces right away, and then you use the bullion system here to get your weapon and then go pick up one of your trinkets. I was lucky enough to get both. As you can see here in Season 2, I had both Neltharion's Call to Dominance and the Beacon to the Beyond. And even though Beacon is not good for single target or sims pretty poorly, I was absolutely nuking things. Like Beacon, if you use it right, was getting me like 8 to 12% of my total damage for encounters, even on a single target fight. It does more damage the more targets you hit, up to 5 additional targets, and it splits the damage evenly. But it is like a tactical nuke. I've said that in so many of my Mythic Plus videos. But what do you guys think? What of these items are you most looking forward to having on your character? I know for me, today, if I am picking the items from this, and I have unlimited Dinar, or at least, or I should say bullion, or at least like 5, I'm picking a Neltharax. I'm going to grab a Beacon to the Beyond. I'm going to hit a Call to Dominance. And if I have any other choices, Odwin, I'm coming for your secondary stats this time. And then I'm going to go for a Voice of the Silent Star. And then if I do have any other bullion left, I'll probably be picking up a Seal of Diurna's Chosen. But like I said, what do you guys think? Please leave me a comment down below and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Eggplant. I haven't been posting really any sort of, you know, current content for Mythic Plus, or I should say for Marksman Hunter. I do apologize for that. I've been really burnt out with the game. I'll just be completely honest. I love YouTube and I love playing the game, but I've just been playing for like 6 years nonstop at this point. So I've been kind of trying to take a break. I've been playing some other games, if you guys have seen here on the channel, since my channel isn't just World of Warcraft, believe it or not. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope to get some good feedback from you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Let me know what other PTR videos you guys would like to see, and I will have them out very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.